Hello there! If you subscribe now, you'll be subscribed to my channel. Gaming platforms. They're great. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do any gaming. That's why we need gaming platforms, so we'll have something to do, because nobody wants to go outside these days. It's hot or cold, depending where you are. And there's bugs, mosquitoes, you get sand up in your ass crack. So it's better to stay at home and use gaming platforms to play all kinds of games. That's more fun than playing with sand. You can get rash from sand. I'm sure there are people who are allergic to sand. Anyway, sand is not the point of this video. This video's point is to list my top 7 gaming platforms. Because I like gaming, and I've been gaming a long time. Little warning though, nostalgia's gonna be a big factor in this one. Sorry Xbox, you didn't make the cut. Even if I made top 7 modern consoles list, that Xbox behind the camera still wouldn't make the cut. I'd rather pick some really obscure Chinese knockoff emulator machines over that one. I give it a chance. Anyway, let's start this list. Top 7 of my favorite game platforms. Okay, so number 7. That light might go out on its own every now and then. Just pay no attention. I don't think this place is haunted. I think it's just a busted light. Grandma? Anyway, so number 7. That's kind of a curious. That's the only reason why I don't call this top 7 favorite consoles, but gaming platforms, because that is the only kind of PC-like machine I have on this list. And it's also kind of curious. I always wanted one. I still kind of do. But I just don't have the space for it, and just getting games for it these days, well, let's just say they were all, those old discs, so, it's gonna be a bitch to find working ones these days, so, I gracefully bow down on my dreams of having this console or gaming platform, PC kind of like machine, ever, so, I'm forgetting about it. Not getting it, not even trying it. There is, however, a mini console version, so I kind of forgot about that. Now I kind of want that. I might get that. Anyway, number 7 gaming platform on this list. I played this a couple of friends' place. I had a few friends who had this machine, and I always loved it. And it has some great games that need to make a comeback, or I could just buy the mini version. But anyway, the gaming platform I'm talking about is Amiga 500. Yeah, Amiga 500. I've actually never played those later ones. What were they? Amiga 1000 or something? Or 2000? I can't remember. I'm really bad at remembering all the tech, but Amiga 500, that one I played a ton, and such great games on that. I'm constantly kind of trying to say console, but it's not really a console. It's one of those home PC things or whatever. But fantastic selection of games, like It Came from the Desert, where there were giant ants, and it was kind of top-down adventure game. Loved that. Harley Davidson, where you were driving Harley Davidsons, and you were kind of trying to win races and fix your bike and all that kind of shit. I gotta say, my memories of that game are a bit vague, but I do remember loving it. So I really want to get back to that. There was one game. It was Chicago. And then there was some year after that, 70 something, I guess. I remember playing that also a lot. I fucking loved that. It was kind of isometric view. You were driving around, apparently Chicago, and trying to avoid cops. Man, I had so much fun playing that game. And Moonstone was great. Where is that franchise? I mean, come on, give us a new Moonstone game. Give us a remaster of the old Moonstone game. It's so fantastic. You're a knight and you go around and it's tough as hell and you gotta kill all kinds of creatures, and I don't actually remember what the goal of the game was. It's been a while since I played Amiga 500 last, so memories are a bit vague, but man, I'd love to have it. God damn it, I guess I gotta order that Amiga 500 mini version. Yeah, you can actually add games to that with USB stick or something like that, so yeah. And Amiga, you had keyboard, you had mouse, you had joysticks, a lot of joysticks, different types of joysticks, man, I loved it. And although, to be fair, if I now got the original Amiga, I'm not sure how I actually like gaming with it, but the games were just solid. Desert Strike, that's one of those games I remember playing a ton on Amiga. That was It was so goddamn good. I believe that was the best version of Desert Strike back then. Because the consoles had that, but Amiga had a bit smoother version or something. I could be wrong, but that's how I remember it. And that's good enough for me. Amiga 500. I really don't have a lot to say about it. Yeah, I never had it for myself. But I wouldn't take the original. I'm just gonna sell for the mini. I'm getting the mini version. I'm fucking getting it. The prices have to be down by now. That was over €100 or something. I think. Fuck. Then we get the actual consoles on this list, and number 6 is a classic. It's a Super Nintendo. I just happen to have this kind of Mega Man coloring on it, Mega Man stickers, whatever. The custom covers for my Super Nintendo, and I love this. This is fantastic. What an improvement in graphical department and sounds, and games being a lot smoother and bigger even, and just looking way better from the 8-bit Nintendo. Again, I never had this growing up as a kid, but a lot of my friends did, and I played the shit out of there. And once I started collecting retro, 2014. I think this was one of the first consoles I bought. But yeah, Super Nintendo, I remember as a kid, we played a ton of Super Mario World and NBA Jam. We played a lot of that at one friend's place, and also Mortal Kombat was a huge hit among friends, and Donkey Kong Country games. Ooh, those were so goddamn good. And one of my favorites, Rock and Roll Racing. And this is probably on no one else's list, but best of the best. Which weirdly had nothing to do with the movie. They just named it Best of the Best here in the Western world, because Best of the Best was a big thing back then when the movie came out. It was actually in Asia. It was called Kickboxer or something like that. So that's why they switched the names. They thought it would sell better here, but I love that game. The hit detection is kind of wonky, but you got tons of different moves you can assign for your character. And I thought that the hit detection being what it was, it added to fights and they felt more real, because it kind of felt like even if you hit, it wasn't a good hit, or sometimes you could just kind of drop a guy with a couple of punches if you just hit him really good. And yeah, it's just, I think it felt more realistic. I think that's the first fighting game where you can kind of surprise someone with good hits and get a quick knockout out of them. It wasn't like Energy Bar that constantly went down. You had these 4 lights, which kind of worked as your energy though, but it was such a great way to disguise the whole energy thing that, I've spent fucking hours playing that game, and it's actually one of the first games I bought when here it is, Best of the Best, Karate. Yeah, one of my favorite games. It's so goddamn good. Man. Also, obviously, Mega Man X. Man, this is an old custom console. The stickers are coming off and all that. It's not looking like in its prime anymore, but yeah, still love this console, love this version. And I did have the regular gray too, but I think I gave it to a friend or sold it. I don't remember. His Super Nintendo was kind of being all wonky and shit, so I either gave it or I sold it. I can't remember because the transaction was made while we were drunk, so that's what you get. Then we get to number 5 on this list, and it ain't all old stuff here. I got some modern consoles here also, and yeah, this is my favorite modern console. It's just so goddamn good. I love this console. It's my favorite out of the current gen, I guess. Nintendo Switch. I've said it once, I've said it twice, I've said it probably a million times. Nintendo Switch, this just, it kicks PlayStation 5's and Xbox Series X ass when it comes to gaming. I mean the game selection and all that, and just, I don't know, I just really like this. This is kind of my indie machine and AA machine. Well, okay, double A's, I think I now mostly play on my PlayStation 5. They do run smoother on that, so yeah, I'll give it that. But definitely indie games and Nintendo's own game series. It's just, I love Nintendo's own series. I always say I hate that goddamn plumber, Mario, but fuck, he's got some excellent games. His games are just so entertaining, so much fun. Usually they're smooth, they're just optimized to perfection, because Nintendo actually likes to do that still to this day, which is something that not a lot of other gaming companies like to do these days. They just kind of release some kind of mess and start updating it and hoping it'll be a playable game in the next year or two. But yeah, Nintendo Switch, and also this kind of works as my party system, you know, when we got friends over and we're doing some drinking. We usually play a lot of stuff on Nintendo Switch, Mario Kart and Boomerang Fu being the top ones. But man, this is just so many countless of hours spent on this. Alone and with friends. It's a magnificent console, I just fucking love this. Nintendo Switch number 5, I love this thing. Next up, it's already number 4 and what's that? Why no PlayStation on this list yet? Well, where's that? Where's PlayStation? They had brilliant consoles. Well, at number 4 spot... PlayStation 2. Man, that was heavier than I remembered. Luckily, I also do have this slim version, so I don't have to sweat that much. It's global warming happening here in my apartment. And outside it's... But yeah, PlayStation 2. I got the slim model here and fuck it, I'll show the fat model because it actually looks better, visually at least. But yeah, here it is, the big fat PlayStation 2 and this is the console that I do believe revolutionized gaming more than any other console out there. It sold more and it was amazing when it came out, and the gaming library, whoo! You got Ring of Red, you got Final Fantasy X, you got Dark Chronicles, you got Dark Cloud. Dark Chronicles is Dark Cloud 2 for all you people out there in North America. What else? Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3. Also, we got from Hideo Kojima those... Fuck with their names. Zone of the Enders. I did not go and take a peek because I forgot about their names. But that's not even all. We also got Silent Hill 2. We also got Run Like Hell, which I really loved. Underrated sci-fi horror survival shooter. We got Gran Turismo 4. We also got Need for Speed Underground series. We got GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas. And we also got Evil Dead Fistful of Boomsticks, which I still say is more fun than people give it credit to. It is a fantastic game. I do love it. I love Evil Dead. Bruce Campbell gave his voice to Ash in that game, and you can just spam one-liners all you want. It's fun, it's bloody. Also, we got Manhunt and The Warriors from Rockstar also. A lot of Rockstar games. I just went over there. Not Evil Dead. Evil Dead's not a Rockstar game, but GTA's, Manhunt, Warriors, Bully. Oof. I mean, back in the PlayStation 2 era, companies actually pushed out several games for one system. Not like these days when we get 2 Metroid games for Nintendo Switch, or possibly getting 1 Gears of War for Xbox Series X. I don't know why I picked Gears of War. I mean, I like the first 3 games. I haven't played the rest, but I'm not an Xbox guy. But yeah, still, you know, I mean, the point I'm making here is back then, you know, companies used to release like game a year, maybe 2 games even, and or at least like game every 2 years. If you're Hideo Kojima, possibly 3 years, because he took his time. He was an artist. He still is an artist. These days, we might get 1 game for some big series per console generation, which sucks. Maybe they should downsize their teams and cut developing times and make their games a little more compact, because the games during the PlayStation 2 era, they were way smaller than games these days, but man, they were good. The games back then just concentrate more on the fun factor. Back in the PlayStation 2 era, games were fun, games were great, games were inventive, games were fun to play. This was the peak. This was probably the peak. PlayStation 3 era, yeah, I'd say that was still kinda part of the peak. PlayStation 4 era, it started, going downwards, and I'm talking mostly about AAA games. They just, I don't know, they lost their edge. Same thing happened with movies, so, you know. But man, many people, they pick PlayStation 2 to be their all-time favorite console, and I can't blame those people. PlayStation 2. Then we get to my top 3, and my number 3 pick. You can't blame nostalgia for this, even though it's an old console. I never really played this. My cousin had this console. It's really limited what I played with this console back then, so, you know, it doesn't really count as nostalgia. I never, after playing at my cousin's place, I never had like this, I gotta get that and blah blah blah, you know, or had really like that fond memories. I just remember playing it and that was it. Now, 2014 though, I had talked to my girlfriend a couple of times that, you know, I'm getting sick of modern games. That was PlayStation 4 era. And man, those first 2 years, they were rough. And I've told this story many times, after I got Assassin's Creed. What was that after Black Flag? The one where you were in France. I can't remember its name, but I even got like the special, it was like Bastille edition or something, I don't remember. Anyway, I got it, I played around for 2 hours, I opened the map and I saw the map was full of chests and all that kind of shit, and I was like, all games are like this these days, open world, and all you have is ton of crap you need to collect. It's boring, it's stupid, it's shit. I ain't got time for this anymore. This is waste of time, this is stupid. So I said, fuck off to that Assassin's Creed game, and I said to my girlfriend, that's it, I'm getting back in retro. Because I had fond memories of playing good old games when I was a kid. Those games were great. They weren't anything like the modern slot back in 2014. Obviously, I didn't know how great we had it back then compared to now. But actually, I do like a lot of modern games too. Just not really the AAA games. They don't really hit me. There are a few exceptions, but mostly. Anyway, actually, my girlfriend bought me my first retro console when I announced that I'm going to start collecting retro stuff, retro games, retro consoles. And that console was the one that's number 3 on this list, which I have no nostalgia for. It's basically 2014 I started playing with this, and Sega Mega Drive, or Sega Genesis if you're in North America. 16-bit greatness, oh this was so good, oh I loved this. It came with 10 games when she bought this. Gotta say, best gift she ever gave to me. After letting me get between her legs, that is. Now you're saying, ew, gross, but let's face it, we all want to get there. If there's people we are really into, we want to get between their legs. That's a biological thing, so screw you, it's not gross, it's normal. Anyway, we're talking about Sega Genesis or Mega Drive. Mega Drive I have here. See? Mega Drive. It's called Mega Drive here in Europe. I just fell in love with this. I hooked this up immediately. I phoned few friends to play, and 10 games I got with this. There was probably the standout game was Toki going apeshit. Or apespit. Yeah, going apespit. Man, this game I played a ton. It was so good. First time I played any game from the Toki series. It is a 2D platformer. It's not quite run and gun. It's more methodical, more concentrating on platforming parts. But you do go around and you also shoot or spit at enemies. So there is that gun part to that too. But still, it's not. You're not just constantly running and being swarmed by enemies and shooting 360 all over around you. In that sense, it's not like run and gun game. After that, I hit the internet and I started buying Sega Mega Drive games, and oh man, Streets of Rage games. I had never really played those that great before that. Obviously Sonic games. The 3 games I played at my cousin's place were Sonic 1, and then there was a Jurassic Park game which I don't have, and also there was NHL 93, which I really loved. Every time I went there and I spent the night, I think I played the season through with that, and I don't actually have it. I have NHL 95, 96 and 97. Those are the NHL games I have for Sega Mega Drive. I'd love to have 93 and 94 too. 94, widely considered the best NHL game ever, yeah. But 93, that one has kind of, I have fond memories of that. It was just, I played it so much. I played it more than any other NHL back then, at least. I think I played some of the more modern NHL games more. I mean, back in like 2009, 10. That's when I still bought NHL games. I think 2013 or 14 was my last one. Kind of been playing with the idea of buying another NHL game, but I don't know. I just don't want to really give my cash to EA these days. And you could probably get cheap last year's NHL or something. Probably not. But yeah, also you got Fantastic Alien Soldier and Mega Man Wily Wars, which is Mega Man 1, 2 and 3 remade in 16-bit style, which is just fucking great. Wonder Boy games, Revenge of Shinobi, just fantastic library of games, and I missed all those growing up because I didn't have this console and none of my friends really had this and didn't really play this growing up. So it's not nostalgia, it is just that this is a great console and it's got great games. There, 16-bit fucking rule. It was so good. Then we get to number 2 on this list, and yeah, this one was a huge part of my life back in the days. Ooh, this was so good. I loved this console. I was so ecstatic when I got this. And number 2, I gotta give it to the original PlayStation. Now you might be asking, you had PlayStation 2 here that actually plays PlayStation 1 games. Well, I'm not really counting this that way, you know. Then I'd pick PlayStation 3, the fat model, the original, because that one played PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games. No, I'm judging these by the library of their games and, you know, how much fun I've had with these consoles. Growing up, when I got this, oh, it was the best day of my life, at least back then. It was so amazing, you know. From 16-bit to 32-bit and 3D graphics, that was something unheard of. Probably the biggest leap in graphics ever in gaming history between console generations. Nowadays console generations don't even mean anything. It's just, oh, you get a little sharper, you get a little bit more pixels on your screen, so you know things look a bit crispier if you're looking at them from 3 feet away, and you have 85-inch TV. Who gives a shit? That's why I don't need PlayStation 5 Pro. What a scam! A PlayStation 1, man, whew, this melted my brain. This melted everyone's brain. I remember my friend had a PC. I always took this at his place when I spent the night, and yeah, we were always playing this because PC games just looked worse. They were worse. This was during the era when new consoles came out and they were better than PCs. Yeah, fuck PCs. PCs were shit. Okay, I don't hate PC, but I've just never really been a PC. Well, back then I was a little bit. I was a bit more PC player than these days, but yeah. But yeah, PlayStation 1, man, you got memory cards, you could save your game. I mean, you could do that on 16-bit also on the cartridge at some games, but this just kind of made it more mainstream and revolutionized it more. You got those memory cards. Well, this is actually PlayStation 2's memory card, but you get the idea. This doesn't fit. Oh, wait, wrong port. Well, it still doesn't seem to fit, so fuck it, I'm not gonna jam it there. Or maybe you had to push them a bit harder. Well, I'm not gonna try it. I don't want to break my PlayStation 1 here. Actually, I think this works. It worked when I last played with this, so yeah, I think it works, but it's been years since I hooked this up, which is a shame, considering the gaming library, which is fucking fantastic. Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, you got Silent Hill 1. This was the golden era of Final Fantasy games. Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9. Man. Also Final Fantasy Tactics, which I never played, but I heard it's a month or 2 from now. I do believe they're releasing a remaster? Also, I just had a gaming pickup video where I played Star Ocean, the second story arc, which I do believe it was PlayStation 1's Star Ocean game that was remastered. Amazing library of games. Dino Crisis, Twisted Metal was at its best during PlayStation 1 era. I still love the Twisted Metal on PlayStation 3. Man, I love that series, but yeah. PlayStation 1 is what really started that. Oh, also, Road Rash Jailbreak. Everyone always kind of didn't like that, but I always loved that. That was fantastic. In Cold Blood, that was an amazing game. Although now, when I think about it now, if I'd played now, it would probably be slow and kind of awkward and clunky and really hard. Because it was really hard back then too. I never beat it. Oh, the amazing Fear Effect games, which kind of started my interest in lesbian porn. I mean, anime. But those games, Fear Effect 1 and 2, 4 discs. Ooh, I actually have the first Fear Effect game. This was so good. The second one was, I do believe the second one was even better, but really cinematic. How'd you call this? It was kind of survival horror game, except it wasn't really like that horror. And also, I think you also shot regular guy. It's been a long while, and a lot of puzzles and, you know, just amazing plot twists. I loved those this one was just so surprising back then. Although I'd have to play this again to really review the writing and all that. The gameplay, yeah, these days it's a bit slow and clunky, but man, this was so goddamn good. But yeah, great console, and I just have a ton of great memories playing this console. I love this. This was so fucking awesome. I'm just gonna move on to number 1, PlayStation 1. The old gray box. It's iconic look. I kind of like this one's design more than the modern PlayStation consoles. The PlayStation 5, yeah, it looks like a router or air conditioner or something like that. That's just weird looking. PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, those were just kind of... Well, PlayStation 2 was just a bulky black box. PlayStation 3 and 4 were less bulky because they got those kind of rounded features. They were betterly designed, boring black boxes. But this one was grey. I'm not saying grey is exciting color, but I just like this overall. This, look at that. Put a disc in there and you're gaming. No updates. You're gaming immediately. Huh. And then we get to number 1 and my absolute favorite console. And if you followed me, you probably might have guessed this already. I'm a sucker for nostalgia. This was my first console. I love it, and it's grey. Grey is the color of a magnificent console. If it ain't grey, I don't play. NES. Good old NES. Nintendo. 8-bit. Why 8-bit when you consider the games being kind of... well, when you look at this list, this one has the most, primitive games. It's the memories, but also I still play those games every now and then, you know, some of the 8-bit games, you know, but usually if I have like now Evercade, I have Evercade, I love playing old 8-bit games on that, and if there's some kind of old collections or something, you know, whatever way there is to play old 8-bit games without hooking this up, because I'm lazy. I don't want to hook this up. Nintendo Online Store, not Online Store, Nintendo Online, you know, the service. That's actually the only service I pay for, because you get to play Super Nintendo and NES games. I might be upgrading that if I ever get Switch 2, so I get to play Sega Mega Drive games or Genesis games, and also you get Nintendo 64 games, but also now GameCube games, which is great. GameCube, almost put it on this list too. That is a fantastic console. Nintendo 64, yeah, didn't even think about it. I think I might actually put my Xbox Series X above that. Well, it's a close tie. But yeah, NES, just... What the fuck? There's 65 euros in my Last time we were drinking with friend, we were looking at this NES, not last time, it was a long time ago, but yeah, I showed them this NES because we were just remembering all the old shit, you know, old times, playing old games. Why is there money inside my NES? More importantly, whose money? Well, obviously it's my money now, so... Well, that just solidifies this console's greatness. It apparently grows money. Money doesn't grow on trees, it grows in NESs. No, I honestly, I had no fucking idea I had money inside. I gotta check all my other consoles too. That was some kind of drunk prank or something? I don't fucking know. Well, hey, this is actually like half the cost of the Amiga 500 Mini. But yeah, NES, I was a kid. I remember, you know, we used to have this, and what do you call those antiquary shops? I guess they're kind of closer to pawn shops in US or something like that. The second-hand market, kinda. It wasn't like flea market where people sold their own stuff. People sold their stuff to that place, and that place sold it forward. So, you know, kind of like pawn shop, I guess. When I was a kid, I think I was like 8, 9, 10... maybe 11 years old. Every day I visited that flea market or pawn shop or whatever. And I remember I went and I bought a little bag of candy. I always gave to the shop owner there one candy. And yeah, then we started dropping deals if he had any new NES games. And sometimes, yeah, I didn't have enough money, but then I went home and I looked over what kind of shit I could sell to get the game. Usually I'd bring in one other game and I'd sell maybe some cassettes, you know, tapes. Before CDs, cassette tapes, yeah, those. Or maybe VHS tapes also, you know, or books, whatever I could find, you know, if I had any and I really wanted some game. It was like a daily ritual back then. However, I could make at least a couple of bucks so I could get a new game and usually trade in my old game. Because I bought a game, I played it for a while, then I switched it, I traded it. I couldn't afford buying games constantly, so yeah, I had like a couple of games and I kept trading, so you know, I always had that, you know, 2-3 games, 4 games maybe. Wasn't really a big collector back then, but then again, we were all broke and games cost a lot, so even if I wanted to be a collector, it would have been slow. But man, what a game collection. Still my all-time favorite game is on this console, Mega Man 2. But yeah, this one had Mega Man 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 6 we didn't get here, it was only a North American release, but I bought it from eBay, so I have that one too. Turtles 1, bitch. That game was a bitch. Hard. But I loved it. But not as much as Turtles 2. We didn't get Turtles 3 here, a Manhattan Project or whatever it was, for some weird reason. But yeah, we got Turtles 1 and 2 and Super Off-Road. And I played a ton of Super Off-Road. I still play Super Off-Road every now and then. I just love that game. Super Mario Bros. 1, 2 and 3. 2 is actually my favorite. 2 is probably my favorite Mario of all time. Yeah, some of you might be judgmental, but fuck you. I love Super Mario Bros. 2. It's the greatest Mario game ever. Even though we didn't really get the real Super Mario Bros. 2 here in Europe or in Western countries, we got, it was Lost Levels. It was released as Lost Levels, and that was the real Super Mario Bros. 2, and that one was hard as shit. I wasn't really a fan. First time I played that was on Super Nintendo when they released that Super Mario All-Stars, and that one had that, and yeah, it just really didn't work. It was way too hard, and it looked like the first Super Mario Bros., which was great when I first played it, but yeah, it kind of time passed on. I still kind of like to try it every now and then, but Metroid, first Metroid, what a game. Metal Gear, and Metal Gear 2, Snake's Revenge, which weren't the original Metal Gear games. They were actually released for Famicom back in Asia, but we got Metal Gear and Snake's Revenge, which were these Western versions of Metal Gear games. So goddamn awesome, and just a ton of games that I love to play, and still this day I play. Star Tropics, god damn it, that was great. Wow, Punch Out, can't forget Punch Out. Magnificent console, so many great memories. No more money though. Well, that kind of sucks. NES, that's my all-time favorite console. Probably wasn't a surprise for a lot of you. So, what do you think? What's your favorite console? And tell me why it is NES. Fuck off, and I'll fuck off, and we'll meet back here when I upload more crap. And yeah, check your consoles. Apparently they grow money. There was one time we were drinking, and I remember my NES was on a kitchen table, because I remember we were talking about it with a friend drunk. I just picked it up, took it back to his place, and now I'm rich. Huh. Well, guess who's getting Amiga 500 Mini? Possibly, maybe, who knows? Not making any promises. I'd really want it though. Goodbye.